Hi, baby. Hi, Pete. Thank you for joining me today for this special digital cover story interview in honor of Juice Wrld and his posthumous album, Legends Never Die. Appreciate you guys for being here.
I appreciate you for having us.
For sure. So, Juice Wrld's fans, of course, they are super aware of who you guys are. For people who may not know, Bibby, you are the head of Grade 8 Productions, the label that Juice Wrld was signed to in partnership with Interscope Records, and Pete, you are Juice's manager. So to start things off, let's discuss what each of your roles has been in working on Legends Never Die. I'm sure each of you have had many things to assist in its release. Bibby, we'll start with you. What was your main role in having Legends Never Die come out?
We did everything from A to Z. Videos, some of the marketing, the track list, everything. So we pretty much just do everything.
If anything is happening with Legends Never Die, you're having a part in it.
Of course.
And Pete, what about you?
Just to re-echo what Bibby said, we did do the album cover. I mean, we had our hands on a lot of things. Obviously, the label helped a little bit here and there, but we definitely had our hands in everything. We had an in-house guy, Steve, put together three of the visuals that we're using for the album cycle. We also had a kid that signed to us in London put together the video for Wishing Well, which you guys are going to see very soon. We have a merch company also, and we kind of ran, the bundling and everything in-house. A lot of the designs were made by us. Murals are getting painted across the country. You can kind of have that getting done in-house also. Kind of music. I mean, Bibby put the music together by himself. I think, at the end, I kind of jumped in on there once I became less busy to help him just close the business out there.
That's awesome. Murals. So people, not only will they be able to listen to the music, but they'll also be able to see a presence. Where are some of those murals going to be?
We have one in Chicago right now. One's going to be in LA. We have one in Ohio. One's going to be in Miami. I think about 2 other cities right now, and we plan on expanding even more. We're looking for more artists, and then we got really artsy. I think for the first time we also came up with the concept of I don't know if you saw the Halsey Life's a Mess visualizer. When the guy was painting, that was the first time that was done ever, as an official visualizer. That's something we came up with. So yeah, we just try to be as innovative as possible and just as hands-on as possible during this process.
Juice WRLD's song Bees Knees from Death Race for Love, he said the lyrics, "To do what I do, you need a whole team." And I think, this is a shining example of that with Legends Never Die. Each of you are working together to make this vision come to life for him, definitely. Working on a posthumous album for Juice WRLD, that's a heavy undertaking and responsibility. I can only imagine, thinking back to conversations that you had with him, thinking of the mindset at the time of recording certain songs that he had. What were some of the ways that you applied what Juice wanted to accomplish with this album and made sure that
it happened? Mostly we just thought about the mind frame that he was in and the conversations that we had. And then we dug up a lot of the music that he was working on, that nobody really heard. So really we were just trying to match the music with the mind frame he was in at the time. And, it all fit the same topics that Juice always talk about, like depression, anxiety, drug addiction, and all the problems that he would go through all the time or talk about all the time.
So with an album like this, it also comes with many layers. Of course, there's a grieving process that you went through as a friend, and then having to make a business decision to move forward with the album. When did you officially start working towards the album following his passing? And why do you feel like that moment was the right moment to start to move forward?
Well, I kind of put everything on pause because I kind of felt that it was a serious matter, like drug addiction and the anxiety and all the stuff that he was going through. I kind of wanted it to be more meaningful and like helpful to kids that was going through the stuff too. So I wanted to make sure that we painted the right picture, and I wanted to make sure that we was donating money to people like, I wanted to make sure we had the foundation set up and at least part of the documentary that we're working on done too, like a trailer to kind of explain like what was really going on.
It was a while in the making, like Bibby said. Just had to make sure everything was done before we fully gave it to the world to listen. That's why it's gonna be a very very well put together project, and people are gonna love it.
Last year, I spoke with Juice for his XXL cover story, which ended up being his final interview, and he spoke at length about just the vision that he had at the time. And of course, things changed. But he said that at that time he was feeling his way through it, and it was less about like coming from the mind and more about the heart and the soul. Do you feel that has been achieved with Legends Never Die?
Yeah, I feel like we handpicked through the music and kind of like got the right songs that he would want on there and kind of explain it exactly what he was going through at that time.
There's also, some people he mentioned in the past was like he wanted a song with Young Thug on there because he has a bunch of recordings with him, and then he was in the studio with Metro Boomin, and that recording process back then has very much from the time that we're actually going to get to hear the album. So with the artists that are on there, we have Trippie Redd, we have Polo G, we have the Kid Leroy, and Halsey, correct?
Yeah.
So why do you feel that those were important people to feature on the album? Juice's albums, they weren't really feature heavy in the past, and this still has like the right amount of people in comparison to, his past projects.
Yeah. I feel like those people was like the artists that he was like really close with that was like genuinely his friends, like that he would talk about all the time and like kick it with all the time. And like, Halsey always showed the maximum amount of love to Juice, like Polo G, Leroy, that's all his close associates.
Really like family. Leroy lived with Juice for a while. He's one of the reasons that even Leroy's here. Leroy's always a big fan. Polo and Juice were as close as possible, always at the house together, and they're both from Chicago. And then Halsey and Juice collaborated on that #1 record together, Without Me. So yeah, that's why we kind of put it like that.
Right. So it definitely all made sense. They all had a connection that wasn't forced, for sure. Exactly. So how did you go about choosing the songs that lead the final track list?
I tried to put it together to kind of tell a story, and like I said, like the last talks that I had with Juice, I kind of like remember where his mind was at, and I wanted to like explain exactly what he was going through at the time through the music.
What about the producers? Who are some of the producers that are on this project, and why did you feel that they were important to be a part of this?
I really don't really look that deep into like the producers. I just find the Juice songs that that sound like that sound like it fit the project. So But some of he does work with a lot of the same producers though, so it's like a lot of the ones from previous projects like Nick Mira, it's Rex, and yeah, his like same go-to producers that he always use.
To keep that same consistent sound.
Yeah.
You know, leading up to the album, we had songs like Righteous and Life's a Mess with Halsey, and those are more of like the melodic driven singing style of Juice. Did you think about incorporating a mix of like his different styles on the album with the melody, incorporating rapping, freestyling, and rock?
Yeah, I feel like we got a good mixture of stuff, but mainly I just wanted it to kind of tell us the story of like what he was going through. So I had to pick the best songs to do that.
In your thoughts, what is that story?
Somebody that was fighting addiction, anxiety, the detachment, it like all of it. It's a lot of stuff that he was going through, and I just wanted to make sure that like the music told the story.
When you look at the songs that are on the album, can each of you share a memory that you recall of like a particular song that made it onto the album, that either you were witness to Juice recording in the studio or he shared with you like his excitement after recording it? If you have any of those memories.
I gotta think. Well, Pete might know better than me.
Yeah, I would say like his favorite song on this album was probably Blood on My Jeans. That's the one like he really, but you know, Juice music is personal. It's not like made up. It's not constructed as, oh, I'm gonna make a great song. This is gonna be a hit. It's I'm gonna pour my emotions and feelings, what I'm feeling right now, into a beat. I think Blood on My Jeans carries the most with me particularly because that was made towards the end. You know, and that's kind of the one I remember him going around playing the most. Like he even Instagram lived it, the On the Run. Like I could even remember he like there was an open on it, and he filled in he freestyled in the open on Instagram Live. You know, so that's kind of more memorable to me. You know, all these songs definitely are memorable. Some of them we didn't hear until after he passed. But they still hit as hard because we know him personally and we kind of know what was going on in his head at the time, why he would make a song like this, even though we didn't really see it until after he passed, because, you know, Juice wasn't necessarily the guy that would play you, even though he was emotional in his music, sort of is emotional and whatnot. He definitely wasn't like around the guys. He definitely wasn't the kind of kid to be like, yeah, guys, look at what I just made. I just made a love song. Like he's going to play you, you know what I'm saying, like the tough guy songs or whatever, like a Bad Boy or something like that. He wouldn't play, you know, some of the songs on this album because that showed a little vulnerability. And, you know, men don't really want to be vulnerable at all moments. But yeah, so that would be my answer.
Can you speak a little bit about how Hate the Other Side came together with Polo G and Kid Roy?
So, I don't think I was there for that song, but I think he recorded that with Marshmello. And then Polo G and Leroy was added to it. I think that's how it happened, right, Pete?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I think he had Polo and them get on top after the fact, yeah. He has like, multiple songs with both of them.
Did any of the leaked songs, you know, Juice has throughout his career, he unfortunately a lot of for his music. Did that affect any of the songs that maybe you had wanted to put on, but you thought otherwise, like forget it, we're not going to put them on because just the leaks affect?
No, so a lot of the songs on here are the leaks. It's crazy because a lot of the best songs get leaked.
Juice has a crazy fan base, and you know, it's unfortunate that they have to, you know, try to exploit and hack us and producers and everything like that to get at the songs. We don't think it's the end of the world because of the leaks. I feel like the whole world needs to appreciate it. You know, need to appreciate his music, not just the cult fans who go searching for leaks. So we still don't feel at the end of the day that just because a song has leaked means it's useless. You know, obviously it takes away from it a little bit, but I would tell fans like, hey, you should pay respect to the legend and not complain, you know, if you went out of your way to go look for leaks. Like, you know, I don't go out of my way to look for Playboy Cardi leaks and different things like that. You know, I wait till he put it out. So that's kind of the same respect that you should pay Juice. And and if you did go listen to leaks, then you should have complained. We're trying to give a chance to other people to listen to the great work that Juice has left behind. I don't think it's fair that we should scrap his blood, sweat, and tears, his feelings, because a few kids took it upon themselves to hack something and then sell it for profit. You know, because they're selling these songs for $7,000-$10,000, and then they're like, "Oh, don't put leaks on the album, dude. You guys have leaked 700 times." Like, what do you expect? You know. So I mean, that is what it is, but it's still a great body of work. He has 33 million plus. So still don't feel like it's gonna take that much away from the project.
One of those songs, Man of the Year, that was like a fan favorite. Rex Kudo produced that. I know that was recorded in London. What were the discussions about including that one? Was it like a no-brainer that you had to have that on the album?
Yeah, so we kind of added that one last minute.
And the song leaked yesterday. it's ridiculous, but yeah. Yep. Unfortunate. Juice fans, if you're listening, stop being malicious against his body of work. It's not fair to us, Juice's immediate family, to the label, and to just people who want to hear the work how we present it.
Did any of you get feedback from Juice once he recorded that? Speak to you about it as far as like he was proud of it, he wanted it on his album?
I feel like Juice wanted every song out.
Yeah.
100 songs on a
Yeah.
track.
So yeah, I mean, but that's a lot of artists though. Most artists, after they get to a certain position and to a certain point with just money and success, that creative part of them, it goes back, because creatives are creatives at the end of the day. It's people that quit I mean, that guy over there, they just quit. It doesn't matter about the money. It doesn't matter about everything. So, you know, I believe that he would have wanted every song out anyway. That's something he made. You know, whether we didn't like it or not, he would have still wanted it out.
When we first got confirmation that the album had an official release date, a teaser visual, which I believe was filmed by Chris Long, was shared, and it showed Juice freestyling about his addictions. Why was that important for you all to show that vulnerable side of Juice leading into the album?
I mean, for me personally, we picked that exact footage because we actually originally planned on putting out like a 6-minute piece. But instead we sort of like narrowed it down to that one footage, because that footage was just, you know, I know you watched it, like it kind of like invoked some kind of emotion. You can kind of see where he was at, and that's why we put that out, because it sort of says like, you know, all these months in short form, all these months I've been working, I'm putting my pain on these beats. I'm not embarrassed, and I want y'all to hear it. You feel me? And that's kind of why we decided to put that piece out, because 6 minutes is cool, but that 30 seconds also said what we felt like needed to be said also.
Makes you want to know more and just get into the album.
Exactly.
Yeah. It kind of get you ready for what you're about to hear on the album, because he like talking some deep shit on the album. Like it's I don't know, I get sensitive when I think about it, because on a lot of the stuff he talks about, like death and drug addiction and anxiety, and like that's a lot of the stuff that I don't know nothing about anxiety. I don't really know nothing about drug addiction, and I don't know, I just didn't understand it. And I don't know, I feel like that clip right there, it kind of tells you everything that you're about to get ready for the album.
Did you face any obstacles when you were working to get this album out?
You said business-wise?
Yeah, or personally.
Business-wise, no. I think we're very business savvy and we kind of operate at the highest level. So we didn't really face too many challenges. I mean, the only thing we got a no on was we tried to do something with Off-White for his album bundle, and they said no, but it's cool. But personally, yes, tough. It's very tough. Just working on it, and you got to do something to get it done. Like on some, it needs to get done. Like any other client. But when it's Juice, like for me, me and Juice lived in the same house for 2 years plus. So everywhere he was, I was. So it's like when you're working on it, it's a little tough. Like not even a little tough, it's very tough a lot of times. But as men, we gotta keep it pushing and we have to know what we're doing it for. And you gotta reserve your feelings for late at night, and just keep it pushing. Yeah. So it's definitely not easy. But it's still good that we got it done, and everybody just worked really hard, and just to make sure everybody remembers them for as long as possible. That was our motivation.
Who are some of the other key players that helped? If this album wouldn't have come out, that you feel are important to speak on?
I mean, we pretty much did everything. So I'm gonna say, us, the moms, Carmela, of course, my brother G Money, yeah, Interscope, everybody that had.
Let's talk about the album cover. Give some insight as to how that came about, who created it.
So it's funny how the album came apart. It was like almost 4 months of process. We had seen the NFL player Juju, who is like probably one of Juice's biggest fans. He had a dude, so we had brought him out to the shows in Pittsburgh and things like that. And he had got this guy named Corey Payne to paint him a Juice Wrld like painting with that exact image, how he's looking down on the album cover, but the background just had a bunch of fruit and things like that. So we loved that rendition so much. I mean, we had different options, but we loved that rendition so much that we reached out to Corey, like, hey, we like what you did, see what you could come up with. And, he kind of sent a bunch of stuff that we technically didn't like, but we still like that actual centerpiece, the actual painting of Juice itself. So, we do have the in-house company. So we had, one of the people that worked for us, Taylor, she found a guy in Germany named Lucas to finish up the background with, notes from Bibby, G Money, and everybody else. She's going to use what was told to her and to complete that mission. So she had Lucas finish up the backgrounds and stuff based on the notes that the guys. That's kind of how it came together.
Max Lord, the engineer, did he engineer the songs on the project, or was it as well?
Yeah, he engineered most of them.
So Max Lord, Juice's engineer, he had described Juice's past albums really perfectly, and I just wanted to see if you felt that the new album kind of fits into what he had mentioned in the past for Double XL's cover story with Juice. He had said, Goodbye and Good Riddance was the breakup album dealing with a bad relationship. Death Race for Love was him finding solace with his new relationship and girlfriend Ali. And then the third album, which now we know as Legends Never Die, is him dealing with the anxieties in his life and the current state of mind that he had. And it was basically his evolution. So what do you think about that? Do you feel like, I know Bibby, you mentioned it is him dealing with anxieties on some of the songs. Do you feel like that is a good description of where the album is at, an evolution of him and his current state of mind?
Yeah, I feel like he hit it. He on point with it. But the last one, just feel like, somebody dealing with all of these problems and like just tell you like money don't fix your problems. Money and fame kind of elevate your problems if you don't get them in order. If you don't deal, like, can't run away from problems, use drugs or stuff like that.
When you guys listened to the album for the first time, was it a group of you? How was that experience? If you can share a little bit about that moment.
Well, I listened to the album several times by myself. I kind of always tear up when I hear it, man, because he kind of get deep on a lot of the songs. And like I said, he speaks about death a lot. And yeah, I be getting sensitive when I hear some of the songs.
Yeah.
What about?
I mean, I feel like it's a mix of everything. It's a mix of the good and the bad. It's the anxiety and the depression and death and and just because he always thought something was wrong with him. But I also think that it's a celebration of finding true love. So I don't think we should also shy away from that part. Like, I want it. Life's a mess. Tell me you love me. Even on the run, it's even though they're like weird. Like, I've been on the run. I won't let you run from me. I won't let you run from my love. Like that. Those are still like his weird, quirky ways of celebrating love. So and that's him showing happiness at the same time too. So it's a mixed emotions for me personally. I think a lot of people around us.
What is one of your favorite songs, Pete? When you listen to it, you're like, that hits you in the heart. It's a banger.
I think it's hard. It's hard, but it has to be Bad Energy for me. Bad Energy because it's like it's a real story of a kid going through something, but trying to tell itself that I can beat this, like I can get this away. Like he's like drain out bad energy and forget bad memories. Like he's trying to tell himself, like, you know what I'm saying? But he's still in the verse. He's still like just, he's still saying some dark shit, but he's still being positive on some like I could get rid of this at the same time. So that's kind of why I like that song a lot.
Do you know who produced that
one? Bad Energy, Bibby. Who produced Bad Energy? Yeah, I don't know who produced. Yeah, let me see Bad Energy. Who produced Bad Energy, bro? Daytrip produced that. I just like to look it up.
Is just one thing that you want people to get from listening to it and just when they sit with it and listen?
If you're dealing with anxiety, drug addiction, go get help. No pills, no drugs, man. That's and yeah, I don't know what else, Pete.
What was the question?
When the fans are listening to this album, you know, what is a message that you think that they should kind of have after listening to it or just sit with?
I would say there's always a way out, you know, and the answer is not to self-medicate. The answer is not to self-medicate. If you're going through something, you know, if you're not going through something and you just like this vibe, enjoy it, and just keep, you know, keep pushing Juice's legacy forward, and just, you know, keep saying his name. That way, you know what I'm saying? That way his legacy stays alive. But if you are going through something, seek help. You know, try to get in a different environment to, you know what I'm saying, to make yourself better. Because, you know, at the end of the day, everybody matters, you know, just because a celebrity isn't here. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Just because a celebrity is a celebrity doesn't mean like if you're going through the same thing that you matter less. So I think that they should seek help and they should speak to somebody and, you know, just be aware that people care about them and just, you know, take care of themselves. That's the message that I think makes sense.
What are you all working on outside of the music for Juice? Like I know you mentioned the organization that was started. Is there anything that you guys can share regarding that?
It's an organization, Live Free 999. I try to help kids dealing with anxiety, depression, drug addiction. So everybody donate to that. We're working on a documentary that's in the works. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. That'll be out coming soon. And you know, stuff like that. And go stream the album, listen to the album.
When can fans expect the documentary to come out?
You say that again?
When can fans expect the documentary to come out?
So we started on it, so you know it might take a little time, sometime next year or later this year.
And I know, you know, Juice said he used to record like 10 songs in a night and, you know, maybe even more than that sometimes. That means he has a crazy output. I know Legends Never Die is out, so is there possibly another posthumous album that could come out in the future?
Of course, I don't think the album's gonna stop. There's plenty of music. So yeah.
Is there one goal he's had shared with you in the past, somebody that he wanted to collaborate with that could maybe possibly happen on a future album?
He would say Frank Ocean, so I gotta make that happen soon.
Yes, Bibby, make that happen. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I gotta get a Frank Ocean Juice Wrld track.
We would appreciate you for that, 100%.
That's another person just wanted to collab with that we haven't seen a song come out yet.
Who?
Bibby and Juice Wrld.
Oh, Bibby. I mean, listen, I think everybody's been waiting on that. But I know Bibby, you know, that's something that I don't know if we'll ever get. What do you think about that?
Maybe. We did one song together. It's pretty fire. I might release it.
Oh, all right, okay. It could be a possibility. Bibby and Pete, really appreciate you guys speaking to me in honor of Juice Wrld and talking about Legends Never Die. The 999 family, I'm sure, appreciates you guys too. You know, run up those streams, #1 album, Juice Wrld, of course, in spirit. He is here. Thank you again so much.